Hello there.
I've just had the satisfaction of telling Seneca Bolak what I think of him.
Well, it doesn't seem to have given you much satisfaction.
Well, I don't understand how a man can deliberately lie about a thing like that for so long into a woman he's supposed to care about. Closing in, insinuating himself as the father of a child he knows is not his own. What kind of a man is that?
A man that wants a child very bad.
My child.
When did this all happen? Where were you?
Jill's. I've just come from there.
Ah, and you saw the baby.
Yeah.
He's a fine little boy now, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a great little baby.
Did you spend much time with him?
I held him. I don't know. It was funny. I really didn't feel anything until just before I left. I suppose if Jill and I were alone, when we were alone, we really had no reason to examine our feelings, but...
Go on.
Well, when Seneca arrived. When Seneca arrived, I suddenly felt very protective. I began to think of Edmund as my son for the first time.
Yes.
His safety was in my hands. I don't know. It's all so mixed up now. Maybe if we...
What?
Something,
What?
Astelia.
Well, what is it? Is there some kind of trouble?
Maeve, she's lost her sight. She's blind.
What are you saying, man?
Maeve, I know it's true because I just left her at the hospital. I mean, I tell you, it tore me up to see her just lying there all alone. She had one hand in Pat's, one in mine. When I walked in, she didn't even know what to say to me till I talked to her.
Well, who's taking care of it?
Clem and Roger and Pat, I guess. They've had her into specialists. They've checked her. They've rechecked her. She's lost total vision.
Well, do they know what caused it?
Yeah, well, they think it's emotional, hysterical blindness or something. Maeve, she's just terrified. She's terrified she's going to lose Pat. She's terrified she's going to lose the whole Ryan family.
Gets
Le pirellet.
Les pirelets. Les pirelets.
Once more, and it's yours forever.
Les pirelets. Les pirelets. 2 glorious bottles of Les pirelets. Hey, that calls for 2 glorious cups of cafe au lait.
Oh, no. The one thing it does not call for is coffee.
Oh?
Absolutely not. Coffee would just not be the right thing now. Coffee would spoil the wonderful sensations we're experiencing.
Oh, it would.
Now, I ask you, do you not feel that you are walking on air?
Oh, definitely on air.
Do you not feel, when I take your hand and we walk through the air to this resting place here, that we are sitting on a cloud?
Oh, most certainly. A very fluffy cloud.
And for the grand prize, should we allow something so earthbound as coffee bring us down to the level of mere mortals?
The answer is, we should not.
Give the lady 1 grand prize.
You know, Tom, I think you're right. We should stay up here in the clouds and have a wonderful time and not go back down to that gloomy world where you rescued me tonight with wine and toe socks and a rose. It was divine.
Was. It still is. So are you.
You know, a man once told me that when he gets to heaven, he's sure it will be in 3/4 time. We shall have a waltz.
You're here. Where are you going?
In the 20th century, phonographs may be in the living room. This kitchen is wired for waltzing. Let's see now. Waltz, waltz, waltz. Aha! that.
Perfect. Just perfect.
What? The real thing can be just as wonderful.
What real thing?
Oh, silly, this real thing.
I haven't the slightest idea what you're talking about, but it makes it all the more enchanting.
I am talking about you, Officer Desmond.
Officer? Oh, of course. Of the 4th Fusiliers?
Of course.
Well, madam, I'm happy to inform you that the regiment will not be called up for some time. So I'm yours for as long as your orchestra can play.
Oh, well, my orchestra can play for a very long time. Officer, will you tell me just exactly what is a fusilier?
A fusilier is a soldier armed with a fusilier.
Oh.
Dizzy?
Yes?
Mm-hmm. Rest?
No.
You see, losing the Ryans, that's the nightmare behind all of Delia's troubles. I mean, this is the only family she's ever known. All Delia wants is to be a Ryan, and right now she's terrified she won't be.
Darling, the girl is frightened of one thing or another. There doesn't seem to be anything that any of us can do or say to help her.
Maeve, you have given Delia everything you've given your own kids. I know that. I don't know where my sister would be if it wasn't for that. I mean, you've treated her like she was your own kid since she was a little girl, but, well, I just think right now she might need a little something more.
What more can we do?
Well, Maeve, I hate to ask this, but well, I think Delia needs to feel the family again. Just caring for her, just being around her. You know, so she doesn't feel so all alone. I mean, I think if Delia had a real strong sense of belonging, I really think she'd feel more secure. Maeve, when they got married and they moved into that apartment. Now, Pat had to be away so much at the very beginning.
Darling, Patrick spends every free moment he can with her.
I know he does, but, well, all I'm saying is right now he hasn't got the time to spend with her. Maeve, I just talked to him. The poor guy is worn out. He hasn't got time for himself, much less for Dee.
Well, what is it that you have in mind?
Well, sooner or later, Delia's got to come out of the hospital. And I hate the thought of her going back to that apartment again. I mean, it would be the same cycle all over again. Maeve, could she come back here again? I mean, if she could, and if she knew that she was coming back, I think it would work wonders for her. And Pat, too. Don't you think?
Well, if I thought it would work wonders, I wouldn't hesitate, not for a moment. But I don't really know if that's the best thing for the girl.
That's what I'm thinking. Now, I admit,
Bob, I admit I've never had much success in giving Delia what she's needed, but I don't know, it seems to me the last thing she needs is more coddling.
Yeah, that's it. That's why this is still the best place. There's only 2 people that have never coddled her. That's Johnny and me, right?
Yeah, but
That's true enough.
Right.
still, she's going to be well taken care of. Don't you think she needs to be encouraged to take care of herself?
Well, yeah. But first things first. Frank, she's got to get her health back. I've certainly got to get her sight back before she can be expected to take care of herself.
Yeah.
I admit my sister's got a long way to go to get herself together, but she can't be expected to start until she's feeling better. I mean, when she's physically able, yes. I say, Delia, you got to stand on your own 2 feet, but my God, she can't start until she's ready.
Well, we were sitting talking. That girl's lying over there in darkness. I'm going to go on over. I'll talk to Patrick and work something else out here.
Oh, Maeve, I don't know how to...
Oh, Bob, please, don't try to thank me. She's not just your sister, you know. She's my daughter-in-law, and she's little John's mother. Kevin, darling, the dinner menu has been worked out. The special is that stuffed cabbage. Just put it in the oven. I'm going to the hospital seat here.
All right, ma'am. Which one of you stole the chalk? Kevin, when you have a minute, can we have a couple of beers, please?
Right, after I change the menu on the blackboard.
Hey, thanks for listening to that.
Oh, it's all right. I just hope Delia realizes she's got to do it for herself.
Yeah.
We've all got to do it for ourselves.
Have you decided what you're going to do? Johnny told me.
Yeah, Edmund's my son, all right. He's a great little baby, too, Bob.
What the heck else would he be? Boy, that's got to be a big complication for you, Frank.
Now, that is the understatement of the day.
Hey, Frank, I'm sorry.
That's all right. Look, how bad can things be when you're still around for a beer, huh? But you're right, Robert. A baby sure does change things.
I'm going to drink this, and I do not want to drink it alone.
All of it?
Well, just enough to give me a good night's sleep.
Oh, I'm all for that, Seneca. Oh, Seneca. You gotta find some way to get this pressure off yourself.
Yeah, well, I thought I had. I had a major confrontation with Frank this afternoon.
You just said sleep, not stupor.
We both showed up at Jillian's at the same time. He left, I left. I found myself waiting outside in the cold, resigning myself to losing everything. Losing Jill, losing Edmund. I was gonna go home, get drunk, have one beautiful binge, and wake up, get drunk on work, and I got mad. Then I went back to Jill's. Somehow I started to get through to her. At least I think I got through to her, Bucky. And suddenly, some hope again. Not a lot, but some. And here I am, waiting. Still waiting.
You've always wanted...
That's football.
Knows that I'm the best thing for her. I am convinced that intellectually, Jill knows that I'm the best thing for her and for Edmund.
Yeah, and yet you were living together, and she agreed to marry you, but then when you told her that Frank was Edmund's father...
Well, she told me to get out, but that's only because she was furious with me. No, wait. It wasn't only angry. Actually, it was a combination of things. She was mainly furious. She couldn't tolerate the idea that I had kept it a secret for all those months. But also, it brought back all those old ties she had to Frank. I mean, it was inevitable that they'd start pulling on her again.
So the question is, how strong are those ties, right?
Well, they've known each other a long time.
And we're very much in love.
On and off.
But still.
No. Well, no. No, I don't think so. See, I think that Jillian is in love with the memory of Frank. She loves what it might have been. But Jill is smart enough to know that she doesn't have that now.
But she might try to get it back.
Well, so far she hasn't.
It scares you, doesn't it?
Yeah, it scares me. That's the only thing that does. You see, Bucky, I think that I am a match for Frank, but I can't fight those memories that Jill has. Now, she's liable to confuse the real Frank with the remembered Frank. I'd be in a lot of trouble. But there's one cold fact that she can't ignore.
Which is?
Well, Frank is not exactly rushing back to her, is he? I mean, he's not all that enthusiastic about being Edmund's father.
Under these circumstances, I don't think anybody'd rush into something like this.
I didn't hesitate a second.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, you weren't in Frank's position.
Frank's position is that he has a very clear choice. What is more important to him, Jill and Edmund or his political career? And Bucky, every time Frank has had that choice, He's opted for the political career.
Okay, Seneca, just suppose that this time Frank chooses Jill and Edmund.
Oh, I would be very much surprised if he did.
But if...
Well, then ultimately, Jill would pay the price. Frank Ryan has proven himself to be an opportunist and a politician. He is on his way up, and he is moving fast. Okay, look, he might take Jill and the baby along. But, Bucky, he will sacrifice them any time the going gets rough.
I don't know, Seneca. I just don't think that Frank's the villain that you're painting him to be. I mean, yeah, he's a politician, yeah, and he's a good one. But he has deep feelings. He's a very sincere man. He has a powerful sense of family. And he has honor, Seneca. I mean, he stands by his commitments.
Okay, all right, okay. I am going to give Frank Ryan some credit. I think he is committed to the welfare of his fellow man. I think that Frank's honor consists of keeping the truth about his campaign pledges. And I think that the people that he feels most deeply about are the people called the people. Okay, see, all that is wonderful. It's just wonderful, but nowhere in there is included a wife and a baby. Now, Frank may be a great public servant, but he's already proven himself to be a failure as a father and a husband. Now, Bucky, Frank Ryan is a politician to the marrow of his bone.
Has Jill told you how she feels?
Oh, very specifically, as usual. She doesn't want me to be responsible to Edmund or to her in any way. No. She doesn't want me to do anything out of duty. Basically, all she wanted was to inform me that Edmund is my son. Beyond that, no demands, no requirements. Which all leads me to believe that the man she has in mind as a father for Edmund is Seneca.
Are you sure?
I get a very strong message to that effect.
Well, where does that leave you?
I don't know. I don't know. Even if I went to Jill and took the first step towards getting back together again, I doubt she'd go along with it. It would mean I'd have a share in raising Edmund, and that's the last thing she wants.
Frank, he's your kid.
And I don't see how I can just ignore that fact. But the one thing I will not do is try and force myself into the situation. Seneca's done that, and he's caused enough damage by it already.
Frank, is Jill prepared to do it all on her own without you or Seneca?
Absolutely. Well, she's doing that right now, Bob. She doesn't want to spend the rest of her lifetime with anyone she's not completely sure of, simply for the sake of the baby, as they say.
No, it doesn't sound like Jill Coleridge.
No. And there's no question she's perfectly capable of handling it all by herself.
Well, Frank, it sounds to me like she's trying to keep you out of the whole situation.
That's what she is doing. And from a political angle, that could possibly be the very best thing. Ray Woodard's made that very clear. Being a bachelor does not hurt a candidate at all. And I'm going to need every bit of help I can get if I'm going to run for the Senate.
The Senate?
Oh, yeah, Bob, I didn't tell you. I forgot.
Hey, come on a second. Now, what's this about the Senate?
Ray Woodard wants me to run for the Senate.
I thought it was the House.
So did I. But before Bill Woodard died, he and Ray were planning a senatorial campaign for me. You see, it was originally to be Bill's campaign. Right. But then he got sick and he knew he'd never be able to do it. So they decided to turn all that machinery over to me.
You mean it's all waiting for you, all put together?
According to Ray, they've got everything except the candidate. They've got campaign headquarters, staffs, mimeograph machines, telephones installed.
Money, baby, money.
Plus the Woodard newspaper, and the radio stations, and the television stations all across the state.
Frank, that's phenomenal.
I know. And all I have to do is press that button. We are off and running.
Well, we are off and running. So why don't you push that button?
Well,
this is your big chance.
That is what I'm trying to figure out.
Figure out? Come on, Frank. This is the opportunity of your life.
Free lead.
What are you doing up so high, little cat? Huh? You're not an acquaintance of Tom Desmond's, are you? If you are, you're going to be losing a friend. Hmm?
Wow.
My son.
We seem to have worn out the orchestra.
Odd, I don't feel the least bit tired.
Neither do I. Tom?
Mm-hmm.
What's a fusel?
A fusel is a light, flintlock, musket.
You made that up.
Not a word. When you told me about your dream fusilier, I looked it up.
Thank you.
Please don't send me home tonight.
Settle in for a night of drama featuring the biggest stars from your favorite TV shows and movies. It's your night for a great film with the Sunday Night Movies, every Sunday night at 10 on SoapNet.